Hello, Lisa. How are you today?
I am doing fabulous.
Yes, I am here with Lisa only. Unfortunately, Kelly cannot make it today, but we miss her very, very much. She was struggling a little
Definitely.
bit with a migraine, so she definitely needs to just rest. And Lisa and I were just chatting a little bit about the book that we focused on in the last episode as well, Think and Grow Rich. And we are just starting to you know, rediscover some of the goodness within this book. We've actually studied this book quite a bit, and we've studied Bob Proctor's teachings as well, which always reference very heavily to this book as well. And we were at this point now in the second half of 2023 where it was just time for us to jump back into these teachings because we all just felt that pull to do so. And I love that the three of us were so aligned in that because we can jump back in together. And obviously, we want to bring you, our listeners, along for the ride as we do this. So one of the quotes. So I'm actually going to start with a Bob Proctor quote, but it's pretty funny how this topic for today came up because I have in my book. If you guys are watching on YouTube, I'm holding my book here. I have this very faded bookmark. It's a post-it. And on the post-it, this is from the last time I was reading through this book. On the post-it, I have, you don't have to know how, you just have to believe you can. And that's a Bob Proctor quote. And I had this, in my windowsill, kind of collecting dust for a while. So the top part is faded. But I loved just whenever I would come back to this book, opening it up and seeing this Bob Proctor quote. So, Lisa, when we were hopping on right before recording, we were talking about the desire chapter and things that we wanted to cover today. And she pulled open her book to a page that aligns so closely to my bookmark. It's like, you can't plan this stuff out. Like, it's so, like, when you started reading that, I was like, oh my God, oh my God. Like, I just want to be like, do you know what my bookmark says? Like, it's so funny how this
Right?
happens. So I want to read now what Lisa actually just pointed out in the chapter, if Think and Grow Rich, the desire chapter. It's a little bit long, but it's very worth it. So in depending on the book you have, it's the desire chapter around page 30. There is a difference between wishing for a thing and being ready to receive it. No one is ready for a thing until he believes he can acquire it. The state of mind must be belief, not mere hope or wish. Open mindedness is essential for belief. Closed minds do not inspire faith, courage, or belief. Remember, and I love this part. Remember, no more effort is required to aim high in life, to demand abundance and prosperity than is required to accept misery and poverty. So there's so much there, so much there. And I feel like, I mean, a lot of things come up for me as I'm reading this, Lisa. I don't know if you want to jump in and tackle it first since it was something that called to you, but I just love how aligned we were in this topic today.
Yes. So, will you just say the Bob Proctor quote one more time? Because I wrote it down and I want to make sure I have it right.
Yes, you don't have to know how, you just have to believe you can.
Ah, yes.
So good.
Yes, it's so good. So, that resonates so much for me because you just have to believe that you can. And I've been working with my team in direct sales on growing our belief because we've got this exciting trip to Ireland that we all have the opportunity to earn, but you have to believe that you can, right? You have to believe that you're worthy of it. You have to believe that you have and you can grow your belief. That's the beautiful thing. If you don't have enough belief today, it's something that you can literally grow. It's like faith. If you don't, faith is a gift that we've been given, but whether we exercise it, whether we step out and you know step out and practice that step of faith, that's on us, and that's where the action is, and that's where really getting our head around who is this gal that has the goal achieved, and what kind of action is she taking because she's believing that it's possible. So my story, and this is just, it brings my heart such joy, because when I was introduced to now goals, or stating a goal as if it's already happened, and there's science behind it. The science is our subconscious brain does not know if it believes whatever we tell it, right? So if we tell ourselves, oh, I'm tired today, I'm tired today, I'm tired today, and our conscious brain is saying that over and over and over again, our subconscious goes, oh, you're tired today. Okay, you're tired today. And as a result, that's how you feel. You feel tired. In the same way, when we step out in faith, believing and telling our brain something that hasn't happened yet, we're believing that it will happen. We just don't know how, just like the Bob Proctor quote, right? We don't know the how, but we believe the how will present itself because we are in a state of belief or a state of faith. And so when we tell ourselves what's going to happen, we can't just say it over and over. I'm going to earn my trip to Ireland. I have earned my trip to Ireland. I have earned my trip to Ireland. If I say that to myself over and over and over again and do nothing, then guess what? It's not going to happen. So it's not just this, name it and claim it type of woo woo. It's not that. What it is stepping into that state of belief, stepping into that state of faith, saying, hey, there's a difference between just hoping and wishing, like Think and Grow Rich, that quote says. There's a difference between just wishing for something and being ready to receive it. And when we're ready to receive it, it's because we believe it really will happen. So this is that act of faith. And so literally in the last week, I have stepped out and grew my belief and have grown my belief and my faith inside my mind and how I am thinking. So here's what happened. I owned a truck, and I wanted to sell the truck because for various reasons, right? So I wanted to sell it myself. I had a price that I wanted to sell it for. And so I wrote a now goal, and I actually have my now goals. And we should have Kelly figure out what episode we talked about now goals and link it to this if people want to go deeper in how to write a now goal. But I have about 7 now goals taped in little sticky notes on my mirror in my bathroom as of just Sunday. Sunday is when I did all this. Like, this is hot off the press. So whatever, 5 days ago, 6 days ago. And well, actually a little over a week ago, sorry. So I started, and one of my now goals was, I am so happy and grateful now that my truck has sold for, and then I wrote the dollar amount that my bottom, like I need this amount. That's what I'm believing for, by July 7th. And so I gave it a specific. Sometimes I don't give it a specific, but I really wanted to stretch my belief and go, you know what? It's selling this week. So that was last week. And I would get up, and every time I went to the bathroom, I would speak my now goal. I had other now goals around my trip to Ireland. I had one now goal that I actually found. I don't know where I found it, maybe in a YouTube that I was listening to, but this one I really love. I'm so happy and grateful now that money comes to me in expected and unexpected ways. That's stepping out in faith, but it has this like playful, if we're exercising our faith, it should be fun, right? It should be fun, because even the Bible says that we need the faith of a child. And children don't have all this garbly goop up here of, disbelief and doubts and fears and anxiety and all the things. They are playful. And that's part of that faith is just, hey, yeah, let's do this. And that's that spirit of faith that we can learn from children. And so that I'm so happy and grateful now that money comes to me in expected and unexpected ways. The emotion that I have immediately when I read that or say that out loud is fun, and fun's one of my core values. And so like it's kind of like this, game of where's it going to come from? Like, ooh, this is going to be fun. Expected. Yep. I know what those are, but what about the unexpected ways? So my truck wasn't selling. And then all of a sudden I had an offer, but the offer came in and we settled on a price, but it was $700 less than what my gold card had said. So I took his offer and sold the truck 2 days early on my gold card. I was 2 days ahead. So yay me. And then I went to bed that night and I'm like, I'm $700 short of that now goal. And then I was reminded, I'm so happy and grateful now that money comes to me in expected and unexpected ways. So I went to bed asking God, so where's the $700 going to show up? Because I believe my now goal is going to happen. It just might not happen in the way that I originally thought it would happen. So I woke up the next morning and I had this spontaneous kind of idea to go test drive the car that I had picked out about an hour and a half away. My dream car, all the bells and whistles, everything you can imagine. It was on my like, ooh, this is going to be super fun. And so I did, we went and test drove, but that morning when I woke up, I was thinking about my now goal and I was like, okay, God, where's that $700 going to come from? Like, am I going to get an unexpected, raise, or am I going to, sell something that, you kind of brought me, like what is it going to be? Because we serve a God of abundance. You look outside and there's like abundance everywhere. There's gazillion, million, trillion blades of grass and the leaves and the pine needles. Like every evidence is that God doesn't just skimp with just, the little things. So I woke up and I had the idea that I would just ask the guy that I'm buying the car from if he'll lower the price by $700. And I was like, that's genius. I didn't have it over here, but by cracky, I'm going to have it over here. And then my gold card is really true. It happened. So I test drove it and I told him, I said, well, if you want to make a deal, I need $700 off of this. And he's like, well, we already dropped it this morning. And it's true. He dropped it. He said, we already dropped it by $389. And I said, well, this is the price. This is the price that I need. And he looked at me kind of funny. And he's like, can I ask why this amount? Why $700? And I said, well, it's just kind of a personal goal. I had no time to explain it to him. But he went and asked his manager. And by cracky, I got $789 off of the asking price.
Oh my God, Lisa. I absolutely love that story. Lisa didn't share this story with me before. So I'm just like, my jaw is like open this whole episode. Like, oh my God, where did you get this money? Where did the $700 go? That is unbelievable. I mean, it unfolded exactly as it needed to. And I love that you're sharing this because you're right. It doesn't need to, like, your goal card doesn't need to unfold in that exact way that you like originally had thought when you wrote it.
Well, and here, listen to this. A state of mind must be belief, not mere hope or wish. Okay. So I was believing it, but then this is the kicker. open-mindedness is essential for belief. So when we get an idea of how something is to be accomplished, we're not open-minded any longer, right? We've
Yep.
closed our mind. This is the way. And if it doesn't happen, then, whatever we want to blame it on or say that, God didn't answer our prayers, however we want to spin it. But I loved how Napoleon Hill says open-mindedness is essential for belief. Closed minds do not inspire faith, courage, or belief.
It's so good, Lisa. And I feel like, so there are, even in my recent past, I feel like the goals and the belief comes into play almost. And I don't want to say in like creepy ways like that. That's kind of like creepy how that all worked out. It was very intentional and
Agreed.
right. It played out exactly as it needed to. But sometimes I'm still like, oh my God, that actually worked. Like, there's still that, like, I believe, but I'm still kind of like shocked. I shouldn't be at this point.
Totally
But
agree.
yeah, it's so crazy. So one of the things that, like, as we're talking through this belief, one of the things that like shook me a little bit with how precise my goal was when I was leaving my old corporate job, and I actually wrote out my resignation letter, and I thanked them for 12 years. I had like all of this stuff planned out, and I left within a week of my 12 years. And that was written like months prior. And it was just like really cool to look back and be like, I did that. Like I wrote this out and I read it and I believed that that was happening. And that's what you need. Did I know how? No, I wasn't even interviewing. I wasn't doing anything. I changed industries. The whole thing was just wacky. But I had that belief that it was going to happen and that I could make that shift. Just as you had this belief that, you know what, you were down to the day, practically 2 days off, $700. Like that is like showing such faith in the fact that you can accomplish anything that you put your mind to. And I'm so excited to see the rest of those goal cards that are currently taped to your mirror.
I know I need to
Start to
replace,
unfold.
like get my Rolodex or my little file cabinet of the done ones, because
Yeah.
now after 1 week, I have 2 that are already accomplished. And I'm like, all right, sky's the limit. I need to
Yeah.
come up with my next ones. But I think what that showed me, and I don't know if you're sensing like the energy, but like faith spurs such energy that it's almost magical.
Yeah.
It's like when you step into that belief and you just believe that you don't know how it's going to happen, but you believe beyond a shadow of a doubt that it's going to happen. You don't necessarily know when it's going to happen, but you believe without a shadow of a doubt that it's going to happen. And you already are like in that state of, yeah, I kind of get to be um the observer, kind of like the watcher of a play that's going on. You attend a play and you don't know what the next scene's going to take place, but you're kind of like sitting on the edge of your seat going, I wonder what's going to happen in the next scene.
Yeah.
That's what faith does. It creates that anticipation and expectation to see it unfold, because you're open to whatever or however it's going to unfold
Yes.
without holding really tight to the timeline or the procedure of how it's going to be accomplished.
One thing that you mentioned earlier, and that I think is really worth kind of honing in on right now, is the fact that you need to take action. So you created that. You created that. You knew exactly where you were going. You knew the direction that you were going with this goal of yours, and you took action to make it happen. You could have just been like, oh, well, I was $700. I was super close. That was great. Pat on the back. But no, you were like, I'm going, this is happening because this was my goal. And now how can I pivot or change the narrative here in what I'm doing to get to that extra $700? You created that by taking action too. So it's really belief and action is going to skyrocket you to hit whatever goal that you want.
For sure. For sure. Yes. Love it. Love it. Love
Yeah.
it. And it
Oh my
is
God.
it's so true. And we talk so much in our podcast about taking action, about really like that's what I think is faith. Like if we're not taking action, we're not really in alignment with what our goal is, and we're not really believing that either we're worthy or it's possible, or we have the ability. Our belief needs to grow, and
Yeah.
our goal and saying it, like Kelly has shown us maybe on that Now Goal episode, how she sets an alarm for 9 o'clock, noon, 3, 6, and 9. And she repeats her Now Goals
Yeah.
on, as the alarm goes off. And that grows belief.
Yeah.
That's part
Whether
of it.
it's stuck to your mirror
Stepping out.
or whether it's a background on your phone or an alarm on your phone, just having that in front of you all the time. I know, like in Bob Proctor's lessons, he's like, I keep an index card in my pocket. It's like, I usually don't have pockets, and I'm not carrying around like a 3x5 index card, but we have the tools to keep that in front of us. And it's really important to help us take action, just having those reminders, those gentle reminders throughout the day of what you're going towards, the direction that you're going. And it's so key. I can't
Exactly.
wait to hear more about all of these goals that are inevitably going to happen. Ireland being one of them for you, Lisa. It's just, I'm super excited for all of the things that are to come. And it's inspiring me. I feel like I need to have some of these things. I have a lot of abstract goals right now that I need to hone in on and get a little bit more specific. Maybe you can help hold me accountable, Lisa, so I can send you a little
I
picture of my
can.
bathroom mirror.
I can. And what you just said was really important, because I think when they're abstract, they tend to be more of a hope or a wish.
Yeah.
And
I
the
feel like
minute
I'm in that phase right now. I think I need to, buckle
and the
down.
minute we bring it down to a specific, and like I knew what car I wanted, and I knew the price of that car, and I knew like my budget and all of the things. So it was crystal clear what I wanted. And that's the first step, is really getting, what do you want? What
And
is
that's
it?
really what the desire chapter is all about in Think and Grow
Yep,
Rich. It's getting
exactly.
clarity and getting clear.
Woo! Wait till Kelly gets a grip on this one. We're gonna hear what her thoughts are too, because I know we're all on this journey of discovery, and it's just so exciting. So we're so grateful for you, our listeners, for coming alongside of us. And hopefully we have inspired you to wake up and dream, to not just dream in your sleep, but really get specific on what it is that you desire. What do you want your life to be? What do you dream about? And then wake up and start making it happen by growing your belief and taking action. Until next time, wake up and dream.